The goal for our future, the goal for the Black Warriors, the goal for the Great Escape, the reason why I'm even on here talking to you right now is because we must build an ecosystem. The goal is the ecosystem. The goal is not just indulgence in information. The goal is a better situation, and the only result that encompasses a better situation is if an ecosystem is facilitated. What do I mean by ecosystem? Let's dive into this picture right here that you guys also saw on the thumbnail, which is Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, often referred to as Black Wall Street. Now, many of you guys know the story of Black Wall Street. You know what they did to it, but many of you guys don't know what exactly it was. You guys don't understand that they were affluent business-wise. They had their own currency circulating within the town itself, and they were affluent, while other people were coming home. The foreigners that came over here, essentially, they were coming home and they were mad because they didn't really have anything. They saw this community, just thriving, and they did not like that. So of course they did what they did, and the US government also took parts in that, and that should never be forgotten. But the thing is that they had an ecosystem. They had entrepreneurship, their own currency and store of value, their own communities, their own teachings, their own schools, their own hospitals. Everything that encompasses an ecosystem was present in Tulsa, was present in this community here. So I want it to be understood, what I mean by ecosystem is not, the extremism of this right here, because there will be people that get behind this camera and profess to tell you guys they have a way to build a community and do this and that. The phases and steps that are required to even get to such a thing as that is vast. I want you guys to understand that. So I'm not proposing that overnight we're going to have our own community in the flesh, as far as the physical realm of it. No, I'm saying that we must start building an ecosystem now, and the best place to build an ecosystem right now is online. The best place to build an ecosystem for us to communicate, for us to reestablish, for us to learn and grow and really get to some accumulation in addition to this lost information, regarding our tribe, is to do it on the internet. We must build an ecosystem. And look, they didn't have the tools of the internet back then, right? So in many ways, a lot of things that we're aiming to achieve can be more easily done. It's just a matter of the mental, because the division between us is vast. In fact, it will be a person that looks like you and I that is going to try to stop us from doing this every single time. No matter how many members that we get, no matter how many individuals that are within the tribe submit, the information, so on and so forth, they are going to, look like me and you, but they will be sent to infiltrate and destroy. And I understand that, so we make provisions for that from day one. But I want you to understand that the ecosystem is the way. Now, when it comes to this ecosystem, I want you guys to understand that I've set it up and I propose for us to do it in such a way that it is nomadic in nature. What does that mean? That means it is not tied to, just like we are not tied to any one location. See, the internet allows us to be digital in a lot of ways. So we don't have to have physical documentation of the things that we're going to keep in documents that can be burned, that can be destroyed, that can be lost. We can have it digitized. We can have it as an NFT. We can utilize technology to our advantage so that we can increase the chances of our longevity. Because there will be people that oppose this. There will be enemies at hand. That's why I make you guys strong. That's why I make myself strong. That's why this is so important to be put out there. And that's why, people like myself have trouble putting content out in the first place, because the algorithm doesn't want to support it. And once we get the support, we see what happens to the individuals that get the platform despite the algorithm. And, they get berated, they get censored, all of that other stuff. But, we'll meet that road when we get there. But I'm saying it has to be nomadic in nature, because we were designed to be nomadic in nature. Many of us, when we even dive into our lost tribal aspect, our ancestors, many of them were nomads. They were nomadic in nature. Not nomads and they were just hunters and gatherers and didn't have anything, but the land and territory that they occupied was so vast that, oftentimes they would transition to new areas. So I want us to understand that our territory is so vast that we have to be nomadic in nature, and that increases our longevity in this game that we are currently going to win if we're not already winning. And I want you to understand that being that it's nomadic in nature, everything is digitized. It's going to be digitized in this realm of this world anyway. So we're going to continue to do that. That's why I have concepts that I talk about, like the nomadic entrepreneur. And I'm going to just make it clear, I'm not the only man that's on here talking about stuff like that. I want us to be clear that get information and seek information in all ways, routes, and revenues. You don't have to just pick one person's content to listen to. That's stupid. You are a man at the end of the day, are you not? Yeah, so being that you're a man, you don't have to, put the whole heels on and choose every single time that, I might be saying something that someone else you listen to disagrees with, and you got to get in this comment section here. Just save me with all of that, because that's not even, don't dare get in this comment section. Don't dare even think a thought in your mind right now that's going to get us away from the common purpose of creating this content, which is unity as far as the different umbrellas of tribal aspect is concerned, and as far as unity and as far as we are concerned when it comes to creating this ecosystem, which is nomadic in nature. So I want us to understand that the goal, right, is for us to utilize different stores of value. Like the solution that I'm proposing is that we utilize things like this right here. I'm not going to say the word because they like to flag my content for talking about it in the way that I do for whatever reason. And here's why: because I talk about it as a store of value, not a get rich quick scheme, not a you're going to have 10K tomorrow scheme, none of that. And I'm not even going to say scheme, because I know individuals that do that. I know individuals that actually do run it up in that aspect like that, and I make money off of that. But I don't teach that, because that's not the proper and most intellectual use case of it when it comes to building this tribe back up, when it comes to building our tribes back up collectively. Because I know many of you guys are going to join this, but you have your own distinct clan and tribe. I understand that. I encourage that. I want you to take this information and understand that, we come together collectively, because there is never going to be enough individuals in our unique ethnic group to overcome this solely. That's just the way it is. Like, we might be two different tribes. We might be two different ethnic groups. You might be from Ghana. My people are originally the indigenous to America. You might be from Morocco, and so on and so on. You might be from an Alaska native, or one of the Canadian tribes, Turtle Island nonetheless. But I want you to understand that, like, we are never going to have enough in our individual group to overcome this. And the reality is that many of you guys understand that your so-called group or your so-called nation has already been infiltrated, and you can't even get access to it if you wanted to, because the documentation that they want is absurd. You got to have it from a certain date, this and that. I know what the fuck my family said I know what the stories are. I know all of that. I don't need, so that's why, men like me are rising up, creating what we're creating, because fuck all of that. We don't need them. We don't need their institutions. We don't even need their currency. And that's why they don't like me talking about this right here, because we don't need their currency. Not at all. Because in all reality, that's a much more stable store of value, because it can never be controlled by any one set entity. It can't. I don't care what any teacher of the concept of that technology says. It can never be controlled by one entity. I don't care if one person owns 99% of the supply. They can manipulate the price from time to time if they want to, but they do not have control over the asset itself. They don't have control over the technology itself. The technology itself was set up from the very beginning to be decentralized. As much as they try to centralize it, when it's all said and done, individuals like you and I are going to come to the forefront and teach everyone else. This is a decentralized aspect. Don't let them trick you into thinking that we need a third party. Don't let them trick you into thinking that this has to be centralized. Don't dare allow that to happen. This is a decentralized tool for us to utilize for this exact reason. And that's why I tell you guys that collectively from day one, in this Great Escape, the Black Warriors, all of the tribes, we are building a portfolio up from day one. I already have a lot of money in one. I already have, from day one. I'm not even gonna get too deep into that, but we do definitely do that in the tribe. We utilize that because that store of value is going to be one of the greatest assets. It's already the greatest appreciating asset the world has seen. So why not encompass our own store of value? Why not utilize the technology to create our own currency? And that's why they don't like me talking about that. So I'm gonna save that, for the tribe itself, which I've already gotten deep into in there. So I'm gonna move on from that. Now, when it comes to this gold right here, we got to utilize gold too. You got to have physical stores of value, digital stores of value, and then the traditional land store of value as well. I plan on us accumulating all of that, and that's why we really like, it's an ecosystem, and so in addition to that, right, everyone's concern was, well, what are we going to do when it comes to our safety? I hear a lot of people talking about that right now, just in the condition of what the world is going to in general, right? And I'll say this, I think that many individuals have become too reliant upon first responders, reliant upon the police departments, reliant upon law enforcement in general, relying upon other people for their food, all of that type. We're all guilty of that to a degree, but I think some individuals are overindulging in those things, forgetting that at any given point in time, those things can be stripped away. So I think that when we talk about the Black Warrior, when we talk about, by the way, that name is not taking the term black. It didn't come from what the term they gave us was. That name came from, whenever I was reading up on Alabama, Chief Tuscaloosa, when they first saw him, that's what they addressed him as, the Black Warrior. So that's where this name came from, as I have some family in Alabama. But I want you to understand that, like, the Black Warrior itself is it's warrior in the name. So of course we're gonna build a PMC. We're already in the works of building a PMC right now, and it is not based in one specific tribal affiliation or one specific ideology. I know there are individuals out there that have built one for the Moors, or built one for this militia group, that militia group. Like, I'm not doing it in that type of aspect. I'm doing it as far as this great escape is concerned, as far as all the people, the collective individuals that want to come in and join the tribe are concerned. Like, that's who we're taking in, that's who we're building this for, and that's what we're building this with. And it's international also. I've already gotten the works with some of my Ghanaian brothers and all of that, and so that's what we're doing. We're making sure that we're taking things to the next level, because this is going to be the future. It's not going to be a governmental thing. No, it's already not a governmental thing, because corporations own these governments. So it was never that. So who's really in control of these military groups? I would say corporations are. So why does it not make sense for an organization, for a tribe like ourselves, to start building that process as well when it comes to involving in this ecosystem? Now, another thing I want you guys to understand is, when it comes to this great escape, when it comes to this great escape, what the collective decides will be achieved. Now, what I mean by this is, I come to you not as an individual that has all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I don't have everything figured out. I'm just a warrior that gets it in every single day, just like you. But I want you to understand that I put in certain work in certain realms, and I've been chosen to facilitate our coming together, facilitate our unity. And so I built this tribe, but we continue to build this tribe. I want you to understand that everything that I tell you guys comes straight from the soul. And I want you to also understand that I don't have all the answers. So that means that when you join this, that means that if you're seeing this right now, you've been chosen to contribute, not to consume. Don't consume my content. Don't indulge in the information that I give because of the way it might make you feel. I want you to contribute. I want you to apply. I want you to add on to us, because we need individuals to come together to build this ecosystem. We need individuals to come together to make this great escape happen. We need individuals to come together that are going to bring and build back the tribes all together in their entirety. And I want you to understand that you must come ready to give solutions. You must come ready to mastermind those solutions. You must come ready to do all of that, because I know about the stores of value. I know about certain aspects of this great escape. But when it comes to, different components as far as what we're really going to do, We decide that. We vote on it, and we all decide collectively. It's not a dictatorship where I decide or this other person decide. We decide collectively. We mastermind on it. You know, the ancestors, the creators speak to us, and then we move forward in what it is that we're supposed to be doing collectively.